Hello, and welcome back to The Art of a Well-Lived Life. I'm your host, Katie Hauser. I am a chiropractor, an art medicine practitioner, and now a podcaster. And I'm coming to you every week to talk about the art of a well-lived life, inspired by my dear friend, Dr. Gladys McGarey, who wrote the book, The Well-Lived Life, Six Secrets. And she wrote that book at 102. And so I decided to create this podcast with that as the backdrop, knowing that we all come to this life with our own unique expression. And therein lies the art part, the art. And how do you show up for your life, creating a life well lived? And today, well, actually, I recorded it yesterday. I had the great honor to sit in the home of Dr. Bernie Siegel, a legendary surgeon, author, and spiritual teacher, whose groundbreaking book, Love, Medicine, and Miracles, helped spark the modern mind-body medicine movement. Through his work with cancer patients and exceptional survivors, Bernie has shown how love, belief, creativity, and personal agency can transform not only health outcomes, but our entire relationship with life itself. He remains a passionate voice for the healing potential within every human. And Dr. Gladys McGarey and Bernie Siegel have long shared that love is the greatest healer. It's so true. I hope you enjoy this episode and sit back and have a listen. Thanks for being here. There. Okay. Okay. Here we are. I'm so excited. I am in the home of Dr. Bernie Siegel right here. The man, the legend, yeah, amazing work that you
I've
have
got
put
to
into
interrupt.
the
It's not my home. It's where my psychiatrist put me. She's
okay.
just trying to be nice.
And we are also here with Teresa Walden.
Hi there.
And Teresa, just tell us what you guys are doing together.
Sure. Yeah. So I've known Bernie for nearly 2 decades, and he worked with seniors at the assisted living where I worked. And he had his exceptional cancer patient group there, and he would come and speak to the residents. And I'm studying right now for a metaphysical degree. And his work has been so instrumental in so much of the metaphysical field that I wanted to speak with him. And then after we were talking, he said, doctors need to know that there is not just
Oh,
what do we call it? Remission, automatic
yeah,
remission.
spontaneous remission.
You called it self-induced healing.
Yeah.
And so we
But can I
decided,
give you a quote? You
yes,
see, I
yeah.
was called, oh, I could even bring over a magazine and hold it up, where I've been interviewed. And what's on the cover of this well-known magazine with my picture? Interview with the controversial Dr. Bernie Siegel. And I thought, oh, I thought they were flattering me. And the whole article was about how crazy I am. And so I got on every talk show because I wasn't normal and what I was saying. But it was because I was caring for people and I realized they weren't dying. And how come you didn't die when you're supposed to? And they always had a story to tell me
Mm,
that doctors are not taught about,
right.
really caring for people.
Mhm.
And as I say, as a kid, I was an artist. I really didn't know myself in the sense that I would sit at the kitchen table with a pen and a pencil drawing pictures. And I thought, what are you doing sitting here drawing pictures? But there's something about my brain.
Mm.
Oh, and that's, you see, I'm not normal since the day I was born. My mother was hyperthyroid and was told by a doctor, do not become pregnant. It could kill you and a child.
Hmm.
What does my mother do? Her mother comes in and says, I would like a grandchild. So my stupid mother risks her life. And she almost did lose it.
Okay.
And I didn't know. I hope we can tell this little story then. Why I'm not normal. I didn't know any of this. And I'm growing up and beginning to realize there's something not normal about my sort of record in this house. There isn't a single photograph in the family album of me
Hmm.
as a child. And the first one I found as I started thumbing through said Bernie, age 4, and it was a carriage. It wasn't me. It was a carriage. And you can't see anything. It's,
Okay.
the hood is up. And so I finally went to my parents and said, what's going on here? Why didn't anybody take a picture of me? And that's when my mother finally said I wasn't supposed to become pregnant. And I didn't bring home a child. I brought home, these are her exact words, a purple melon. I said, what are you talking about? She said, I was in labor for a week or more. Nothing happened. They put me in I was in the hospital. And then they started working on me for another month to get you out.
Wow.
But because nothing was working, I wasn't near, the exit, like of the uterus, near the cervix, where
Right.
you'd reach in, grab the kid's head and pull it out. I'm still sitting way up there, several feet up inside. And this was the best part of the story. She said one of the obstetricians said, I'm going to make a forceps with long, prongs on it to
Mm-hmm.
reach way up.
You were the beginning of the forceps?
Yeah. So she said they put it in, and for days they kept working on it. And finally they grabbed hold
Yeah.
and were able to pull you out.
Wow.
But she said they didn't hand me a child. They handed me a purple melon. That's why there are no photographs of you, because who wanted to take a picture of you? You were a bloody, swollen thing.
Wow.
And
I
you
said,
feel as though there was damage to your brain
oh,
when
yeah, well,
from
yeah,
that.
there's still parts of my body that are out of line and deformed. And uh, I laugh every morning because my right leg goes like this and my left leg goes. So every time I look down at the floor, I start, yeah,
Yeah, there's
my
that.
mother said, we didn't want to upset people. You don't bring home a purple melon and the neighbors say, oh, you got your baby. They would always say, he's sleeping. You can't look at him. And they said, we kept the carriage covered and your crib covered so nobody could see you.
Well, it's interesting that you have changed that story
Well,
because then you became very visible, didn't you?
wait. But you see, my question is, then why did I survive?
Mm.
You take a newborn kitten, go put it away,
Right.
it'll die. And I said, how come I survived? Nobody's touching me. Nobody's handling me.
Well, she
Nobody's loving
was,
me.
wasn't she?
No. I said, how did I survive? Oh, these famous words. My mother took you. And every time it was time to feed you, she'd pour oil all over you and push everything back where it belonged. So I
Wow.
realized, Ma, I'm getting massaged every 4 or 5 hours. No wonder I survived.
Wow.
Now, this is what proved it all to me. And again, why I always talk to people about their body memories and everything.
Mm-hmm.
At age 40, I'm married, we have kids. My wife and I, every couple of weeks, would go for a massage as a gift to us.
Mm-hmm.
We walk in, and the therapist said, the big guy with wonderful coarse hands. We loved him. He said, Barney, Bobby, I'm so busy today, I can't do you both. So can my wife, who's a therapist, do one of you? I said, I'm not going to deprive my wife of your, massage. I'll have your wife do me. And I'm so glad I said that because when his wife was ready, I get undressed, lie down on a table in a separate room.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of other people around being massaged. As soon as she started touching me, I went back to being an infant.
Wow.
It was grandma. I went into a trance and I couldn't talk to her because now I'm a newborn kid again, you know? And I was like paralyzed lying there. I was loving it, but I knew everybody in the room, including the therapist, was thinking, oh my God, he's had a stroke, something's happened to him.
Right.
Because she would say to me, Bernie, raise your right leg, I'll massage it. And I didn't move. Bernie, turn on your side. She would keep talking, but I never did a damn thing. And that's why I knew everybody in the room was like, oh my God, I wonder what happened to him. Well, when she finished, after about 5 minutes or so, I woke up and I sat up and I said, I'm sorry to upset all of you. I want to tell you what happened. And I told them the story of my birth. But boy, did that prove everything to me.
Wow.
And how important, again, why I became a different doctor. All these memories are stored in your body. So you can't deny that your body has stored up a lifetime.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I was loved by my parents, is really why I grew up and um, survived all this stuff. It may sound crazy to say I was loved by my parents. Yeah, most people don't really get love. But
Mhm.
no matter what went wrong in my life, my parents always had a wonderful answer, which drove me nuts. I mean, these things I began to teach patients too, because I'd come home, I had a horrible day at school. God is redirecting you. Something good will come of this. Ma, did you hear what I told you? I mean,
Okay.
I'm waiting for her to say, oh,
Right.
you poor kid, all those
Right.
cotton people. Yeah. If something wonderful happened, again, that was a gift.
Right.
God is there. And so I always had this companion, God, whether it was good or bad or which way to go, God was there to direct you.
So when you became a surgeon, how did you make that transition from being a surgeon, or why did you make the transition into
Well, part of it, I think, was
holistic?
because I became the artist too. And I really think that was because of the word part of my brain, the thinking part was damaged with the birth. Uh, the lowest grades I got in college were in creative writing. Every time I tried to write, I was lucky if I'd get a C.
Okay.
But if I came to draw a picture or paint a portrait, oh, and I don't know why I never thought of becoming an artist, really, and earning a living. But then I began to realize, but you know what's beautiful? People. And inside people, it's so colorful. And somehow whenever I got interested in people and our intestine, looking in your belly, and I thought, I'll be a doctor. And that's why I did a lot of work and still do with drawings. It's like saying, why did God make blood red? Oh, and I've got to tell you these stories because at the hospital, see, now I'm no longer a normal doctor. I'm talking to people about all kinds of crazy things. So all the patients page me, and the nurses and other doctors would say, why do all these people page you? You're not the doctor. You're talking to my patients. And I realized, yeah, because they can talk to me. They can't talk to you.
Right.
And they weren't ready to hear what I was listening to and talking about. But it's part of what changed me when people were not afraid to tell me their near-death experience, all kinds of things that were happening in the hospital. And this one, I did because I was doing so many children.
Because you were a pediatric
Yeah,
surgeon.
yeah. I mean, I did adult as well as pediatric,
Okay.
but I didn't like the fact that at Yale there was nobody trained to take care of children. What did they do? Kids born with some anomaly? Oh, get the book. They'd look in the book. Okay, if you have this is a problem with the intestine, this is what you do. I thought, you don't know, you're not trained, you have to go look it up. What? And this is Yale. So I took a year off and went, and I ended up at Pittsburgh Children's because I applied to several places, and they tossed coins, and Pittsburgh got me. So one of our kids was born in Pittsburgh. um, And I came back from Pittsburgh with the training, then all the pediatricians, oh boy. So I started getting all these kids sent to me. And I treated them differently. I treated them as kids. And what I mean by that, I would get them to draw pictures of themselves in the operating room, their home and family, their treatment, because I knew they would tell me how they're going to do and how they feel. And I called it lying to children because I wasn't worried about them thinking he's lying to me. I lied to them because I knew it hypnotized them. And what do I mean by lying? Because our kids used to say, Dad, we hear you lie to your patients. I said, I'm telling them things for their benefit. It's a lie in a sense, but it doesn't have to be. Well, what do? I take an alcohol sponge, I rub their skin, and I say, you don't have to worry today. You won't feel any needles because I'm numbing your skin. It's a brand new sponge I had to make. And the kids would go, I mean, it's like a quote over and over again. Oh, why don't the other doctors don't use that? And, the anesthesiologists and nurses would hear the kids say,
Yeah.
oh, why don't the other doctors use that? Because the kids were so shocked. But they believed me, so they'd let me draw blood, inject.
Right.
And they learned it was okay to say I'm lying to my patients, because that was an easy expression rather than I'm hypnotizing them. And then one of the anesthesiologists was so convinced by how helpful it was to get kids to draw pictures, he literally made a coloring book. I wish I had saved one copy. It was about 5 or 6 pages. A blank piece of paper. And the first one would say, you come with your parents. You meet the anesthesiologist.
And the kid was drawing a picture
Yeah,
of
the kid
what
would
that
color
meant.
it in.
Okay, so
No, it was already outlined.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
like a coloring book.
Okay.
You come with your parents. You meet an anesthesiologist. You go in the operating room. You have surgery. You wake up in recovery. You go home with your parents. But the second page said, after you come in and get admitted, you meet the anesthesiologist who's dressed in an outfit that looks like green pajamas. Now, what would you do if the kid drew him in red? I said, oh boy. I called the anesthesiologist. I said, I think I better send him home because I don't know what he's telling me is danger for him. I said, he could die in the operating room. I don't want to take a chance. And the anesthesiologist said to me, oh my God, Bernie. I said, what is it? His mother has muscular dystrophy. And if he has her genes and we give him a muscle relaxant, he could die in the operating room.
Wow.
I mean, imagine the anesthesiologist. Oh my God, Bernie. I said, what are you talking about? What are you upset about? I'm not upset. If he has her genes, he could die. So I said, then look on the last page. If he draws himself purple, he goes home. The last page was, I'm not happy, but I'm going home,
Right.
red and black and things like that.
Right.
So we did the surgery and he was fine. But that's what changed people in the hospital. You can't call Siegel crazy. Look what he showed us.
And so how did you start?
Oh, one more story.
Okay.
Because this again, why people were paging me. Dr. Seigel, the lady in that room there wants to talk to you. She just had a heart-lung transplant yesterday. I go in, I said, yeah, what is it? How can I help you? Last night, the man whose heart and lungs are in me started talking to me. He said, hi, I'm your donor. Your heart and lungs are in me. I died in a motorcycle accident a day ago. And I want you to order breakfast for me when you order your breakfast so I get something good to eat too tomorrow.
Wow.
He literally said that to her.
Wow.
And she's not afraid to tell crazy Siegel
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And she said to me, oh my God. And I just had the urge to get on a motorcycle. It was incredible. So she wrote a book, by the way, called A Change of Heart.
Oh,
And her name is Claire Sylvia.
okay.
It's still available, as
Yeah.
far as I know. They almost, I am always upset to say this, made it into a movie. It would have been fantastic to have
Yeah,
it
I've
decades ago.
heard stories
But
of that.
yeah, so anyway, she and I became good friends.
And you said
And
she also wanted chicken nuggets and beer.
oh yeah, I mean some of the things, I mean he said, whatever you're writing on the order sheet, I'll have some of that too, but don't forget chicken McNuggets and beer for
That's
me.
funny.
And then you had her ask in her dream what his family's phone number was.
Thank you.
And
Did I
she
say this so often? I don't even,
And so
it,
she called them?
that's how we knew
they
about
called
this. Yeah.
together.
She said,
Oh,
I asked him last night because I came to see her the next day again. She said, here's the phone number I got. We called. They said, yes, his heart lungs were in her, and he died in the motorcycle accident. Because I've told this so many times, I forget all the details.
wow.
Yeah. And she's
That's
not the
great.
only one. I mean, I've
Right.
had my phone in this house ring um, with people, and the stories were about people who died. And these are from mystics who were my patients.
Mm,
And they began to tell me, I'm getting phone calls from some of your other patients, family members who have died, to get in touch with you and tell you they're okay. And when my mother-in-law, who was an opera singer, died, the next day the phone rings. Hi, Bernie, what? Somebody who was an opera singer called to say she's fine, don't worry. I said, yeah, my mother-in-law, she was I mean, a
wow.
really class opera singer. Um, and so I knew, because sometimes it was when the person died, like the night before, and I know, oh, I know who that was, so I'd call his wife.
Mm,
Oh my God, that's what my husband always said. They knew that the stories they
right.
were hearing were true.
Right. Wow.
So, we don't die.
Well, so back to the art question. When did you start really using it as a way to, you weren't diagnosing, but you were really getting clear information from it? Like, how did you determine, oh, red meant danger
Well,
or purple meant, like, how did you
well,
figure that
that was
out?
from Kubler-Ross.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I'm a doctor. I know anatomy. So if you draw something, I could say that's her heart, that's her liver,
Right.
so I know what part of the body you're showing.
Right.
And because I wasn't trained to care for people, that's what drives me crazy with
Mhm.
medicine.
Right.
Draw yourself working as a doctor. And I have never had a future doctor put a patient in the drawing. One day I went to talk to 90 medical students. I said, draw yourself working as a doctor. 89, they're there with equipment and medications. And
Right.
one guy shows himself not in an office, standing with another person. He's the only person I've asked to draw a picture who has ever put another human being in the picture.
Wow.
And I have written to medical schools too and said, do me a small favor. When you get an applicant, say, add a picture of yourself working as a doctor with your application.
Mm.
None of them have ever done it.
Wow.
Because I said, you'll see who will make a nice doctor
Right.
and who won't. But so I did that when medical students came to work with me, and I would talk to them about that.
And so what was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's
Oh, she wrote a book on death and dying,
right?
and that's not something doctors are trained. You know, you'll be feel like a failure or death or dying. I
Right.
mean, yes, people die, but you're not taught to handle it. And as a matter of fact, in the hospital, it's hard to hear the word dying, passed away. You know what I
Crossing
mean?
over.
You know,
Yeah.
kick the bucket. Um,
But when you went, you said you were like the only doctor
oh
When
yeah,
when you
I
went
went
there.
to
there.
Elizabeth
There wasn't
Kubler-Ross's
another. I was
seminars.
the only
Oh,
doctor in the room. Everybody there was dealing with death and dying and life.
oh, they were dying
Yeah,
and they went
I
there.
was the
Got
only
it. Okay.
doctor who I think probably ever attended one of our
Well,
workshops
so how did you find her in the first place?
because she advertised her workshops.
Ah,
And
wow.
I cared about people and I
Yeah.
had feelings. So I went.
Amazing.
And I never forget. See, what changed my life totally. I'm talking to Elizabeth. At first, she didn't know I was a doctor. And then was like, oh, she said, you need to find an inner guide. She said, go walk off. And she pointed out to this big field near where the workshop was and said, you meet somebody, be your inner guide. So go walk over there. You'll see somebody standing. Go walk up to them. I thought, what are you, crazy lady? But yeah, she is a crazy lady, so I'll go. So I start walking and oh, there is somebody there. But he's looks funny. What the hell's he dressed as? He's got something black on his head, the white spots on his shoulders. I mean, and as I walked up, I realized, oh, he's wearing a yarmulke. He's wearing prayer shawl, called a talent. I said, he's Jewish. I was looking for Moses, and not Moses, but Jesus. You know what I mean? And well, but we talked. Yeah, I can help you. And I thought, I don't know, how's he going to help me? But I'll tell you in a few minutes, he's become a part of my life.
Mm.
And one of the interesting times when I realized he is with me all the time, I got a call from Madison, Connecticut church. Dr. Siegel, we have this very spiritual man who who died. Would you come and speak at his funeral? I said, oh, I'd be pleased to, even though it's a church. That's no problem for me. So I go. And after I spoke for about an hour or so about this wonderful guy, everybody leaves, getting their cars. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was there. She knew him too, because he was a special guy into life and death and disease and everything. I can't remember his name. And she came over to me, said, Bernie, what? Are you Jewish? It's like you're at a Christian funeral. What the hell are you doing here? I said, yes, I'm Jewish. Why? You upset or think I'm crazy at the funeral? No, no. There's a rabbi standing next to you. That's why I'm asking you. And she
Wow.
described him. Then I realized the
It was
rabbi,
him.
the yarmulke, the prayer shawls, she knew why he was dressed that way. When I had to think about what the hell's he wearing? Yeah, when I looked away at a distance. And as I said, his name is George. That I found very George? Just George? Nothing special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But again, how did this wake me up? Before I knew about George, like Elizabeth coming up to me at the church and saying, are you Jewish? I would speak to the public, lectures, workshops. And there were people who came up to me afterwards and said, excuse me, yes, what is it? There was a man standing next to you by the podium. So I drew his picture for you.
Wow.
And I thought, holy shit.
Everybody can
Because
see
the
him.
reason I didn't see him at that time, but what I knew was I'm standing there with an outline with everything I'm supposed to say there so I don't screw up, and in my limited time I get everything in.
So I ask you the right question.
And I realized that's not on your list. What are you talking about? How are you going to have time to finish? But I learned to just go ahead and keep talking. If they
So,
gave you an hour, you'll talk for 2 hours.
so is George here? George is always with you.
Oh, yes.
And do
And
you see him now, or do you just feel his presence?
both. The two most meaningful times. One was in a local traffic accident where one of the cars in it was knocked sideways, hit my car, and my driver's door popped open, and I went out on the street. And I thought, I mean this. I'm lying there saying, well, you're dead. Because the traffic is going by. And then I realized nobody's coming near you. Somebody must be taking care of you. You must have an angel. Okay.
The ladder.
Then, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to forget. A few years later, this house, it's quite low and reasonably flat. So when a tree broke and fell on the roof, I went up to get it off. And one of our kids said, "Oh, I found a ladder in the street." So I brought it home. It was a wooden ladder. And he left it right outside the garage. And so I stood it up, climbed up. And then as I climbed off, what I didn't realize on the way up, one of the rungs was broken. So it snapped and I fell. And as I'm falling, I thought, boy, you could either die or be,
Really hurt,
crippled
right.
or, and then I realized, but you're not falling. Now, what do I mean by that? I felt somebody was holding me and lowering me
Mm,
because I wasn't tumbling. I was straight and just going down slowly. When I hit the ground, it was like, oh. So I sat down because I lost my
right.
balance, but nothing hurt. It was just I sat down because my legs buckled. I didn't expect to hit like
Right.
that. And everybody came running out of the house, call an ambulance.
And was that before you knew about George?
Yeah, really. Yeah, before I knew that kind of intimacy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it I said, quiet down, everybody, I'm fine. But then I knew, well, you see, I have to say I knew about George, but I didn't know about his reality.
Mm,
But that made him very real because I could tell something was happening.
right.
And
Wow.
because like when I was lying in the street, that was nothing to do. Oh, you may have an angel, but oh, that's bullshit. How could that happen?
Right.
But once I felt this, I knew there's a
Hmm.
George, and he's been my companion ever since. And I knew also with my lecturing that that's who the other person was. That people said, "There's a man standing
Mm,
next to you. I drew his picture for you." But I never said to them, "Yeah, show me his picture." 'Cause I thought,
right.
"You're crazy." But I know they're not crazy.
So did you end up sharing stages with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and like at different
Oh, yeah, I could
holistic
talk to her
conventions and
because she
stuff?
didn't say to me, "You're crazy." So we got to be really good friends, and she taught me a lot. So I wasn't a normal doctor
Right.
anymore. And I, invited her to come to Yale, had her here stay at my house. Yeah, I wanted to introduce her to people
Right.
so they would
Because
listen.
I know she and Dr. Gladys were also very good friends.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, if you had an open mind about people, then she didn't seem so crazy,
right, right.
These are not lectures you heard in medical school. And then, as I said, and then when I started exceptional cancer patients, people weren't afraid to talk to me, see about things that happened to them, so they didn't die when they were supposed to.
And when did you start that, ECAP?
God, I wish I could remember the
Was
name.
it like the 70s?
Could
Well,
Well, when
regardless.
did I go? Was it in '64 that I went to Elizabeth? I mean, the years have gone by.
Right.
It's so hard for me to remember, but I just sent out a letter about exceptional cancer patients. It might have been 71. I don't know what year it was,
Mm. But you
but
started that as a way to help people
yeah, I sent it
heal
to a
in a
lot of
different way.
people, and very few showed up
Mm.
to the first meeting. But I figured go ahead and do it. Maybe there were 5 or 6 people. I might have sent 75 letters, and everybody thought I was crazy. Um, and they came. But yeah, see, that's why my wife said there's 7 women. Now I remember what I told you. Said they're exceptional women. So that's how it became exceptional cancer patients. And we used to meet every couple of weeks at my office and talk to each other, did meditations, imagery, got them working on drawings and realized how you could affect healing and what was going on in their bodies.
Mm.
And that instead of saying, oh, you had a spontaneous remission, no, you had self-induced healing.
And so were they also doing like traditional,
Oh, yeah,
chemotherapy and all
yeah,
that kind of
yeah. We
stuff?
weren't changing them. You
But
see,
they
but it
just
was draw your treatment,
mm,
draw yourself in the operating room, draw chemotherapy, draw everything you're doing. Because, in other words, if they drew chemotherapy as something horrible, I said, you're going to have every side effect in the book.
mm.
See, if you're drawing yourself in the operating room as a you're going to, yeah.
It's not
So
gonna, yeah.
if they drew a
Wow.
terrible picture, I got them to change their image. So I got them to draw pictures from me ahead of time, you see. And that's when I knew, like, if chemotherapy was a beautiful color, you won't have any trouble, go ahead. And the other doctors began to realize he's right. It's
So great. And so were you teaching other doctors how to
if they'd
use
listen,
the
yeah. I
art?
started doing workshops, yeah. Um, and American Holistic Medical Association.
Mhm.
We started that. I was one of the founders.
Oh, so you were with Gladys and her husband Bill
Yeah,
McGarey,
yeah.
and what was his name?
I don't know. I'm
Anyway,
terrible with names, but yeah, with the holistic medical, and so that we did workshops. People did the drawings. I, gave talks, and wrote books. But I was still the controversial Dr. Siegel because it was not something they heard from anybody else. But when you said draw yourself working as a doctor, I mean, that I know because I did that with them.
so
And you
amazing.
see them sitting in an office with 99% of them with no patients, with pads, stethoscopes,
Right,
all kinds of diplomas on the wall, but not a person there.
right. And so was it during that time when you had the exceptional cancer patients that love really came into the picture for you? Because you talk about love
Yeah,
heals.
all right.
So was that at that time?
Yeah, because it was getting patients, you see, when they changed their lives, they didn't die when they were supposed to. See, this is the fun part. You start a group called Exceptional Cancer Patients. It's not helping. People aren't coming back after a few months. They've died. So I started saying to families, if the group member dies, would you call me so I can come to the funeral and respect and honor them? I'm not getting calls. And I'm really pissed. Why don't you honor me? I'm doing this for you. So a young guy named John, maybe he was, say, 4 or 5 months and stops coming. So I called the family. I found his number in the office, in his chart,
Hmm.
the cell phone. And it was a couple of years had gone by. And that's when I had gotten finally angry and I was going to start calling. So I call up. I say, hello, this is Dr. Siegel. I called to tell you I was upset because you didn't invite me to John's funeral. Dr. Siegel, yes. This is John. I didn't die. I found a place in Colorado in the mountains that was beautiful, natural, and I moved here to die, but it was so beautiful. I felt wonderful and didn't die.
Oh my gosh. Love it.
And the other one that I loved, there were two others. One was literally like getting in a computer, two big pictures of a naked body, a woman's body, complete. She's lying on the ground naked.
What did your wife say?
I can't remember now.
Wait, she sent you a picture of
Yeah,
her body.
her
Okay,
body.
got it.
And I
Okay.
didn't even know the lady.
Okay.
She said, I had to send you this. I know I'm not your patient, but she said, I have cancer. I was born with deformities too. And that I knew,
You
that
could
kind of
see.
feeling.
Right. Oh,
She said, and now I'm dying. And I didn't want to die not loving myself and liking myself. So I lay down naked in front of the mirrors, these two big, 6 foot long mirrors. And these are the copies of, I'm sending you a photograph of me. And she said, I started doing this a couple of years ago. The cancer's gone now, and some of my deformities are diminished.
Wow.
And it's like, how the hell can I not accept this?
Right.
You know, a lot of doctors would say, oh, well, this can't be true, or she didn't have it in the first
Right,
place.
right.
But I thought, I got to start. And that's why we started the Exceptional Cancer Patients.
But do you think that all stemmed from her loving herself?
Yes, see, I mean, that's your chemistry.
Right.
All right. We had more heart attacks, suicide, strokes on Monday. Why? Oh, I got to go to work.
Right.
So what I learned was, yes. Now, see, the other side of the coin was when John answered and said I didn't die, I got to start checking with people. And it was hysterical because what was the other one I really enjoyed? Oh, God.
The guy introducing you in New York?
Huh?
The guy who introduced you in New York? Can I tell that story? The guy who looked like he needed the soup kitchen.
Say it
The
again.
guy who looked like he needed the soup kitchen, but he was introducing you and he followed your advice. He called off the dress code in New York.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Introducing me at the church.
Yes.
This, well-known, very big church in Manhattan said, would you come and talk to cancer patients? We'd like to help them too. I said, sure. And we'll get somebody to introduce you. Fine. So I get there and I come into the church, go up to where the podium is, and the place is packed. And I sit down to wait for my introduction, and there's nobody there. And then I hear a door behind me open into the, podium. And this guy steps out who literally looked like a bum. I thought, oh my God, he's either a drug addict or an alcoholic who came to the church for help. So I said to him, excuse me. He said, what? I said, you've made a mistake. The priest is downstairs. Go down, go in there. He'll help you with your problem. You're obviously an addict or.
Right.
He says, Dr. Siegel, I'm here to introduce you. I'm not a drug addict or an alcoholic. I'm a millionaire who developed cancer. So I changed my life and stopped worrying about how I looked and how rich I was. And I'm here to introduce you. And another time I busted out laughing. He became a really good friend. So after he introduced me, yeah, I talked about him, what an example he was. And as I said, so between the three of them, the lady, who loved her body, the guy, you realize it's not a coincidence. But doctors are not taught that. So I try to help people. And here I am at 93. And I'm still here.
And so are you like where do you see it all going? Like are you're writing another book? Maybe. Yes.
I talk books.
Okay, you're talking another book.
That's
good.
what she's trying to tell you. Yeah.
That's good.
I sit down with a tape recorder because, see, it comes, I could say from God knows where, but George is inside me. You know what I mean? My inner guy.
Yeah.
So, like when I was lecturing as a doctor, somebody gets up and starts talking, and I'm saying, where did that come from? And people would come up and say, I've heard you before, but that was better than usual. And I thought, yeah, I know.
George.
Yeah.
So how do we all tap into our own inner George? What advice do you give people?
Stop thinking. Pay attention to your dreams and drawings, that intuitive inner wisdom, your spiritual side.
But if
So
somebody's never done anything like that,
you don't have to.
So
It's
that's
still
why
part of you.
that's why we're
no, I know, but how would you share with
Take
someone to start if they've never done
take a
anything?
piece of white paper,
Okay,
get a box of crayons so you have every color,
okay.
the whole rainbow, black and white, brown,
yeah.
everything. And then say, what do I want to know? See, if I had kids, I'd say, draw your home and family. And then I could say to the parents, look how he feels. I'm going to operate on him. He feels like you're punishing him because he's not with you. When I said, draw your home and family, you're in the house, he's in the yard,
Mm,
or draw yourself in the operating room, draw yourself getting your treatment. And I would show the parents that this is going to go fine or this is a problem we have to prepare him for, change his way of thinking.
mm,
So instead of drawing, a black crayon, chemotherapy becomes orange change, see,
mm-hmm.
or yellow energy, that it's not something that's going to hurt me, but help me. And with kids, it was easier because it's easier to hypnotize them.
Right.
See, what I called it, that's why my kids used to get so upset. Dad, what? Will you stop telling everybody you lie to children all the time? I said, what are you talking about? I don't. You do. You say, I lie to children. But I said, yeah, I know, but I'm hypnotizing them. I use
their
that
own way.
word.
Yeah.
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 But it's because when I was talking to people, I was explaining to them what I meant when I said I lie to people.
Hmm.
But the message would get to our kids. Your father lies to people all the time. And they saw it as something terrible that I was doing. I mean, finally got through to them that it was hypnotic, not because I used to take them to workshops and begin to do other things with them.
Right.
And then get them to draw pictures.
Right.
Say, Dad, I want to go to college. Draw yourself going to all your colleges you're thinking about. Why? They'll know which is the best one to go to.
Love it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on now is trying to find ways that people can use this writing
They said,
therapy, drawing
yeah.
therapy. One of your prompts you said is, what's one word that would describe you? And then people can start to look at themselves and see what they're feeling. Maybe they've never done that before. Maybe they
Mhm.
never stopped and said, how do
Well,
I feel about
as I
myself?
said, I grew up with parents who loved me.
Mhm.
Donald Trump did not. And I mean that. They were like his professional advisors. See,
Wait, what?
you're a kid.
Yeah.
You go to your parents. What should I be when I grow up? You got to make money.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something went wrong. Oh, those bastards. We'll get even with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With my parents, I had a horrible day. God is redirecting you. Something good will come of this. Can you imagine saying that to your mother and getting that stupid answer? Ma, did you hear what I said? What? I had a horrible day. Yes, God is redirecting you.
My mother would say things like that to
Yeah.
me, but not in exactly the same way. But
But
she'd
no point in
redirect.
talking to
Yeah.
you. You know, if you win the lottery, how are you going to help the world?
Right.
What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, what should I be when I grow up? Do what makes you happy. Are you listening to me? I'm trying to get some advice. What should I do when I grow up? Do what makes you happy. You know, help. Because it's not easy to know what makes you happy.
That's right.
And as I said, I don't know why the hell I became a doctor. I mean, my father was the top executive officer at American Broadcasting, Paramount Theaters. Oh, I mean, I'm always telling this story because when I went to college, he said, I called the theater. This is upstate New York at Colgate. There's one little movie theater. I mean, this is way back in the middle of nowhere going to college. And he said, I had Paramount call them and tell them if Siegel shows up, Bernie Siegel, let him in free. So you can go to the movies free while you're at college.
Nice.
So 4 years of free.
All right.
And I'd go in and say, hi, I'm Bernie Siegel. And eventually they knew who I was. But then I began to bring other kids with me.
That's so great.
And they were so happy that 3, 4, 5 of us would go in and the manager would let us come in. But that was my crazy life. And I didn't grow up, as I say, with all the messages of other kids. So if something went wrong, God is redirecting you. And I mean, there were times parents would come to me and say, "Who are you talking to in your bedroom?" And I would say, "God." And they'd look at me like, "Oh my God, he's psychotic," you know, because I was a kid and
Right.
I didn't know how I got into that, but I talked.
That's
I would say,
great.
"God, I'm having a tough time," or "I need your advice," or "I need you," and I would wait for signs to come, and we'd do it. And so I've always felt that way.
And so does Yale reach out to you these days and want you to come and talk to any of their students?
No, they haven't used me as much as they could have. I
And
became a course at Yale, because Yale had their own courses where, people could come in and offer courses to students.
okay.
So I did. I forgot what I called it. It was a special title, I'm sure. Um, but it was for students, and we'd meet, and I would talk to them about meditation, imagery, mind body stuff. Yeah. And in the operating room, they all learned that from me, because once they were assigned to me as a surgeon, they got
They
my
got trained
stuff.
by
And
you,
usually the
right?
ones who wanted me picked me to be their
Right.
surgeon, and guide when they were on surgery, their teacher. Yeah.
And so are you doing any teaching up at the institute up in Bethany? What's
No,
that called? The
no, they don't call me.
the heck?
He started
What's the
it,
name
yeah.
of it again?
What is the name of it? Yeah, but I thought it was, is it the Graduate Institute?
Yeah,
Yeah, the graduate
Graduate
Institute,
Institute.
TGI.
Yeah, in
I mean,
Bethany.
they know
Yeah.
me, and I'll go to meetings and things and talk, but
It's like he's a resource. This is what I'm doing this project now. So we have a 9 video series coming out with his life, with his learnings,
Great.
and it's on YouTube. And
Yeah,
then, and then we're creating the book from that. And because he has so much knowledge that needs to get out to the public, and it needs
Yeah,
to go to people who are
because
sick.
people
to
aren't,
professionals.
you see, doctors aren't taught
Yeah.
about patients who do well. That's why, see, the quote, why, when I wrote the books, Love, Medicine, and Miracles, it's like, what's he, crazy? What the hell is he talking about? How come it made different what you're thinking? But I knew it was because I would say to people, draw yourself before they went in the operating room, chemotherapy, draw your home and family, draw yourself at work. It was all those things. And even my family thought I was crazy, but then they realized he's not. So they'd come to me and say, "Hey, Dad, can you help me make a decision?" "Yeah, sure." And we would do that. And so I was not afraid to do it in the hospital and with patients. I'm getting chemotherapy. Draw yourself with chemotherapy, it'll help you. And those are things that you couldn't deny when you looked at what he was drawing and doing that. And so I had him in the hospital and everybody seeing them. And sometimes it's just words. How would you describe something? Poison. The way doctors talk about chemotherapy and other things. Yeah.
Right.
So you have all the negative effects from people. And nobody's against success. So if people did well, then they said, maybe Siegel isn't so crazy. But when I would talk, oh my God, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
ever
yeah.
said that. But they learned.
Well, it's interesting because I'm a chiropractor. And back in the day, before that, I wanted to be a biomedical illustrator. And the books like Netter, the anatomy books that had the drawings in there, but I wasn't that good. So I was super discouraged and I would rip everything up and say I'm not good enough and, do that whole thing. So I ended up finding art therapy probably when I was 40. I'm 63 now. So probably 20-ish years ago. And worked through a lot of stuff with art therapy, and everything I painted, it didn't look like a body to anybody else, but I knew that it was
Yeah.
where
You
it,
knew
I knew
anatomy,
where
yeah.
it was in my body that I was
Right.
painting. And I could move pain in my body with paint. And it was so amazing for me. And so then it was interesting. During COVID, I found a woman online who was teaching something called art medicine. And so it's this layered process of like 11 layers of painting with meditation in between each layer. And it's all personal, but it's not like paint yourself what you look like,
Right.
like that. And
She was
so,
teaching people.
yeah, but so I've done a few small ones. So this is sort of how they've ended up. And so there's 11
Well, that's like
layers.
drawing a rainbow. You
Yeah.
see, if I would say to people, draw a rainbow, how they arranged the rainbow talked about their life.
Right, right. So under it is so you can see that there's the first four layers are watercolor and there's words. So you write your intention, you write your prayer,
Colors
and then you
and words
keep
have
adding
meaning.
and
Yeah.
layer. And so it becomes like a mandala or a medicine piece that I can.
Also, numbers have meaning.
Mm,
You know, you got 3, 6, 7, 8.
oh,
8 is a new beginning.
oh,
8 again.
a lot of eights. 2, 4, yeah,
Yeah.
8. Huh.
See, that's no accident,
Yeah.
believe me.
It's been amazing. And so I've been leading workshops and retreats.
And the reason I say
It's
8
so
is a new
fun.
beginning,
That's so
every
cool.
religion has 7 days in the week.
Mm-hmm.
So, as Elizabeth used to say, Bernie, 8 is a new beginning.
Oh, yes, that makes
And what else
sense.
did she say? I love that. There are no
Oh, I want to show you
coincidences.
these.
But
There's no coincidence.
there are no coincidences.
Okay. And so the other one I did was I just have been playing, and with two of my friends, we did a whole you're familiar with Carolyn Mace.
Yeah.
So I did a whole thing about the chakras.
Yes.
So these were all 11 layer portals. So that was the root.
Oh,
That was 2.
oh,
The third, here was the heart chakra.
whoa.
And then the throat, the third eye, and the crown.
Whoa.
So even 4 has a meaning, you know, like it's more complete. Yeah, you got 4 hearts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, it's been really fun. So I was so fascinated by your work with the art
Yeah.
and bringing the art
7 is
into
your
it.
cycle. 8 is a new beginning. See, that's the other thing that Elizabeth used to drive me nuts. Because she's always giving things, you know, making symbols that every religion has 7 days in the week. Not same number of days in the month, but in the week. 8 is a new beginning. And you know, people would say you're crazy. How could I? But yes, numbers have meaning.
The thing that was so interesting about this one, which was the heart chakra, I didn't remember, but I had already done this drawing like 6 months prior on a different thing. And I didn't,
Wow.
it wasn't like I recognized it when I was doing it. It was so weird. And then I
There's-
brought it together and it was
I
like,
gotta ask
There's
you.
a new study out.
Only 3, 4, 4, 4.
oh,
Wow.
that is interesting.
Think about that.
Okay.
And 1 is bigger than the others.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to do with people in your family? Like here's one that's smaller, but think about it. Whether it
That's
has
so
family,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Say 7 is a complete cycle. Oh, yeah, 4 and 3, 7 days in a
7,
week.
right.
Every religion has 7 days in the week.
And then this would
That's
be
why
8.
8's a new beginning.
But then it's 8 across.
Yeah, 8 is a new beginning because you're starting a new
Right.
week.
Right.
Have
And
you seen that study where there's memory in the heart?
Yes.
Isn't
Yes.
that wild?
but you
Yeah.
see, you know, that's why when Elizabeth would say to me, Bernie, every religion had 7 days, and you think around the whole world, nobody ever said, I'll have 6 days or 8 days or what the hell's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
But 7 days in the week. Yeah.
Well,
And
so this friend of mine who she passed away last summer in July, 72, she had cancer all through her body, and she was from 9 weeks, diagnosis to death was 9 weeks.
Wow.
And she was gonna really go for it and then just said, you know what? I'm ready. She had such a strong connection to her God. And she would have these conversations, and
so when she died,
she died July 12th.
but what would
Oh, she had,
when you said the 9 weeks, where did that fit in?
she was diagnosed, and 9 weeks later she died.
Yeah, well, that's like giving birth. Yeah.
Right. And so she had,
All right.
multiple cancers, but she's done a lot of this work with me. And so I said, do you want to paint your way through this? Do you want to paint a death portal?
Yeah.
So that, because it's literally like you're creating this opening.
Yeah.
And so it ended up that she said, I can't do it. I'm too weak. I can't, and I said, okay, well, I'll do it for you. And so that was the first time I've ever like really I just did this thing for her. And so we hung it in her room she was at in East Haven by Branford at a place. No,
Hospice?
Whispering Pines. And so we hung it in her room so that those are big. They're 4 feet by 6 feet. I actually brought it. I'll show it to you later because I wanted to
No.
have you see it.
I don't want
Okay, fine. That's fine.
to. All right.
Well, you don't want the death portal. Is that what it? You're not ready for that?
I just want to drive her crazy.
Oh, okay. Driving.
But
But it's been so fun. So I'm super curious
But
about just how to.
I showed you the painting I did of myself.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
surgeon,
Yeah.
And the other, I found fascinating. That's one of my wife with the bicycle there. See it?
Yeah,
in the upper
I
left.
do. Yes.
I wanted to paint my wife as a beautiful woman she was. Yes, I know I'm good. If I'd known who I am, I might never have become the only reason I became a surgeon is you got great hands, you're an artist. So go in the operating room and help people with them.
Which is a beautiful thing, and you have impacted.
I became a surgeon for those reasons.
Yeah, I mean the
But
impact
anyway,
you've made.
I thought I'll paint my wife. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got it right up there as a as this beautiful
A ball gown.
glamorous lady in a nightgown and jewelry. And I started doing it and I thought, I don't like it. That's not my wife. And she literally came home one day riding her bicycle, in the front. And I thought, I yelled out loud, "Oh, that's you." And she said, "What are you talking about? This is me." I said, "Honey, I'm talking about my painting. I'm going to paint you on your bicycle."
Oh, that's great.
I can't say she thought that was wonderful, but yeah. So within like 2 days, I was done with that painting. When the other one was weeks, I was working on it. Yeah, because that was her, this natural woman.
So you saw people. You saw people for
Yeah.
who they really were.
Yeah.
And who they are.
Yeah, it was a pure accident that my wife and I got married, but I think it was my angel. It wasn't because I had skipped a couple of years, so I was younger then.
Okay.
Nobody knew how old I was. So I got a job at a camp as a counselor because they didn't know I wasn't as old,
So you were like 18.
I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to be in college and to take care of these kids. And my wife was already teaching. She was a couple of years ahead of me. And I was with first grade boys. She was in charge of first grade girls. So we're at the same time, we're at the swimming pool watching the first graders. And I said to her, it's really nice that they put a heater in the pool so the kids could be comfortable and counselors could come to take a swim at night. And are you asking me for a date? I thought, no, I'm not, because she's so pretty. She'd never go out with me, but you got nothing to lose. Yes, yeah. I was thinking we could have a date. She gave me a look. All right.
And that was it.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't happy, but she said, all right. I said, okay, you want me to pick you up tonight, tomorrow, so we picked the night and I
Love it.
went to her house and oh, yeah, but this is the funny part, you see, how we were destined. She never is on time her whole life. So I go to pick her up to go to the pool. She's not ready. I go to the piano, which is in the other room. Her mother was an opera singer. I mean, qualified opera singer.
Mhm.
So I see the piano, I go, and the mother goes around shutting every door and window in the house.
Oh gosh.
The next time we dated, I said to the mother, "Why do you shut everything?" "Because I don't want my neighbors to be tortured by your singing.
Oh my
If you're
God.
going to continue to date my daughter, you cannot sing in the car or the house." I said, "Okay."
Okay.
Then I learned she was an opera
Yeah,
singer I could understand.
that's so
And we
funny.
ended up getting married. And literally everybody who met us said, not to me, but to each other, "Why is she dating him?"
Even your own parents.
Hmm?
Even your own parents.
Yeah. I mean, people used to call my parents and say, "Why is she going out with him? Because she's so beautiful."
And you lived a long, beautiful life together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. And she, she died in her sleep.
hmm.
That was the part that hurt me. See why I had heart attack. Because I mean, I got her through from all the things I learned helping cancer patients, multiple sclerosis. What else did she have? I don't know, a whole bunch of. She had a breast cancer, but she never died any of them, And I went into the bedroom to get her up.
She was taking a nap or she
No,
was
this is
sleeping for the
overnight.
night.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were still sleeping in our same bed since we got married. And I went in to get her up because I had nurses come. Well, like I have somebody here to be caregivers for
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have angels in those days. You had visiting nurses.
Right.
So I went in to say, "Honey, the nurses are going to be here. You got to get up." And when I did this, it was ice cold.
Mm.
And I knew she was dead. And I had a pain in my chest. See, that's what taught me about mind body. Like within a few minutes, I was in severe pain in my chest. And I'm not a sicker man. You know what I mean? I
Right,
haven't
right,
done
right,
anything
right.
wrong. But it's because my heart is broken.
But you didn't have a heart attack, did you? Right
Yeah,
then and there?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So believe me, because I had dizzy spells and things happened. Um, I didn't immediately call a doctor because I thought this will go away. But then I realized you're getting dizzy, your heart isn't normal. So I got help. And I have a pacemaker in now, right here.
Okay.
And that's about 10 years ago. And I'm doing well. I mean, I had a good, strong heart, believe me.
Hmm.
Uh, I used to run marathons, do all kinds of things. But that's what it taught me when something like that happens. Yeah. But you
Yeah.
see, that's also how I began to help patients. Um, to say, okay, what's going on in your life now? Or how would you describe? This was a perfect one. I'm in the emergency room at Yale, and the other doctors are yelling at me. "What is it? You lower your voice. You keep talking to everybody and disrupting us." And there's a lady in there who's having intense headaches, and you're making her feel worse. So what do? I go into the lady, and I said, "Sorry, I made your headaches hurt, but what does it feel like?" "Oh, it's pressure, intense pressure." I said, "Really? Think about this. What's the pressure in your life that you really need to eliminate?" She didn't answer me,
Okay.
but she said, "I know. I'm going home." They were
Hmm.
going to admit her to the hospital. She packs up and goes home.
Wow.
And the other doctors are looking at me like, "What the?" Because they knew her headache was gone and she's
Wow.
going home. And then she let me know later, "It's my marriage." I went home and I told my husband
I'm done.
how I felt about
Yeah.
the marriage. Yeah, and she straightened it all out. Pain is gone.
He changed though. It wasn't over.
Pardon?
He changed. It wasn't over.
Yeah, I don't think they got a divorce.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he said, all right, yeah.
Well, so where do you, we could talk, and we could talk forever, but I should wrap this up. But so where do you see yourself? I mean, do you have a 10-year plan? Like, how do you see, Gladys always used to say that at 100. She
No,
had a
I'll tell you
10-year
something. It's
plan.
interesting you came today. I have one daughter. See, that was something else.
Possible.
We have 5 children. And the reason is I kept saying to my wife, I need a daughter, I need a daughter, I need a daughter. The fourth time I said, I need a daughter, she said, I'm not going through this again. I said, one more time, please. I need somebody to take care of me when I grow old. So she tried one more time. And what does the obstetrician say to her one day? You're going to have twins.
Oh, good Lord.
Because he saw how big she was and he took an x-ray. And she said, if it's 2 more boys, I'm not coming home from the hospital. That was an exact statement. And so everybody at Yale and everywhere knew if she has 2 more boys, he is in big trouble
Right.
in his marriage.
Right.
So she finally, she had such mind-body control. You'll be in the hospital at Christmas time. That's when you're due. My wife said, I will not. Next day, let's go to the hospital. I'll have the children.
December 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Day after Christmas.
Wow.
They were born.
Wait,
So
she did have twins?
yeah.
The day after Christmas.
The last,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
last,
This
okay.
is the funny part. The first one out was a girl. We named her, I did, Carolyn for Christmas carols. Then the next one pops out. The obstetrician knew everybody would be thrilled. What a gentleman. He let his sister out first. And he yelled it so loud the whole hospital would know, because then they both popped out.
Right.
There was a girl.
Wait, so you had a girl
and a boy. Carolyn and Keith.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, so even though, I mean, we're grateful that you're still alive, you're still here, you're still in your
Right.
home. I came to visit you.
Yeah.
But like you're writing a book, well, you're speaking a book.
Well, I'm trying to teach people how to
Okay.
live longer, healthier lives. How to
Okay.
help. I mean, I know I could die tonight. I don't know when the hell I'm going to die,
Yeah.
But as long as I'm here, I might as well enjoy myself. So that's part of why I emailed our kids. I don't want to leave here, go to a nursing home. And I said, I'm not going to be as happy there, even though it's for seniors.
Yeah.
And I might move in with Carolyn. That's, the other.
But
Right.
also you said you want to still lecture, so I'm working on getting in bookings. I've already
Yeah,
gotten one booking in Shelton. They want you.
Yeah, because the reason you see,
So that's
I want to
so
tell
great.
people
important that he
Yeah.
how you don't die, ahead of time. How you can use your wisdom, your health by
Mhm.
doing what makes you happy.
It's really that,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Do what
not
makes you happy.
yeah, not because your parents say we want you to make money, we want you to be in this business, we want you to do this, we want you to be famous, we want you to be a politician. No, it's do what makes you happy. That used to drive me crazy.
But that's the whole bottom line.
Because
of the
at first, you
is
see,
makes you
it's
happy.
like my parents are no help. Well, where should I go to college? What should I be when I grow up? Do what makes you happy. Well, my father finally said to me, which I got to understand. I mean, there were times I'd be in my bedroom, my mother would say, "Who are you talking to?" God. What? It's like, I'll take you to a psychiatrist now. Because they'd hear me having a conversation. Because my parents are no help, God. I need you to tell me where to go to college, what I should be when I
Yeah.
grow up. And the answer was, do what makes you happy. And my father finally got the message. He said, Bernie, come here. What? Open the door. What? You see people? Yeah. Make them happy. That's what you should do. when you get a job.
Well, that's a really beautiful message. Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, they finally understood that I wasn't an idiot, dumbbell as a kid who didn't know what he wanted to do. Because I think if I had said, I'll be an artist, it would be, how can we say, look what we're proud of, our son, the artist? He draws pictures. And it was, again, the patients, as I said, who didn't die. Do what makes you happy. See, that's why I almost died because my wife.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy. I was in pain. I helped her get through many. Yeah, there was one pediatrician who said to my wife one day in his office, with all our kids there, you're not going to see them grow up because how sick she was, how many illnesses she had.
Wow.
Can you imagine a doctor saying,
no, but they do.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I felt like
they do.
hitting him in the head with a baseball bat.
100%.
You're not going to see them grow up.
Wow.
What a schmuck.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
But
So I love that message of just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and that is not selfish.
No.
It's how do you contribute to the world?
Right.
So that's why when you look at my painting of myself as a surgeon, it was like, why'd you paint yourself as a surgeon? And I also learned the symbolism of that people don't know it's me. I mean, it's cap, mask, and gown. Who's
Right.
that? And I painted a name, which really shocked me, the high priest. I thought, what the fuck is wrong with you? You paint a surgeon and call him a high priest? Well, I was still
In that.
getting therapy from God. And what I learned was it was being in touch with your heart, with your love, what you wanted to be. And that's the part I've understood. I don't really want to go to a nursing home and be a senior. I love just being here, doing things.
With all your things.
And
Yeah.
so all
Really
the patients, as I said, when they went home and did what made them happy before they died, I knew why they didn't die.
Yeah.
Because they changed their body chemistry. And so that's when I changed how I acted at the hospital, talking to people who were anesthetized. I'm talking to somebody under anesthesia, and people saying, "Why are you talking to them?" They're but they hear
still
me.
there.
They hear me.
So love changes the body.
And especially when you're with kids.
Yeah.
They were hypnotized by me because I'm a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
How can you not believe what he's telling you? I'll wipe your skin, it'll get numb.
But now that's the placebo effect, and it's proven.
Right.
But
it's really a hypnotic effect. You can call it placebo, but it's changing the person.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why, just the same, when somebody says, I didn't die because I moved, I got a new job, that's not a placebo. They changed their body chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a crazy word, but when you find the meaning in it, then you understand.
Well, for the sake of this
And as I
interview,
say over and over again, I had no idea why I shaved my head. I mean, everybody in the family knew I was nuts, so they let me in the house. I mean, my wife was not happy to have a husband who shaved his head. The kids were not happy to everybody talk about their father. But the shift came when they began to hear people say, well, you know who his father is. You know who her husband is. And suddenly they didn't get punished or criticized because they must have that disease too. So,
well, way to take the hit. Way to pave
I
the
know,
road.
our kids really began to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be sitting here this afternoon.
Pass the message.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
So pass that
Live
message.
your authentic, unique life.
Love it.
I mean, I don't know, as I said, I could die tomorrow, but what I've learned is to pay attention, do what makes you happy. Let your heart make up your mind.
Mm.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Those are, what should I do? Do what makes you happy.
All
And
right.
I would say, how the hell do I know what's going to make me happy? But you see, people don't pay attention to themselves. If what will make me happy? Oh, I got to earn a lot of money, then my parents will be happy. I mean, that I heard from a lot of
I'm
people.
sure.
What are you
Yeah.
going to be when you grow up?
Especially in, the earlier days of the
Yeah.
But your message is beautiful. Love
It's the
everybody
message,
and love
right?
yourself. And there's self-induced healing. You can
Use
heal.
love as a weapon too.
You can
That
heal
I
yourself.
love
Okay.
because when people were annoyed with me, I loved saying to them, I love you. They'd look at me like, oh, he's so crazy. It's pointless talking
Yeah.
to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going
But
to end on
the
that
key
note.
was let your heart make up your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let your heart make
Make
up your
up
mind.
your mind.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. What a treat to have a conversation with such a legend. And I think what struck me most was in a time like in the 70s where he was at Yale, and in that most patriarchal society of medicine, he was willing to step outside the norm and really change the way in which he moved through those hallowed walls, if you will. And, that takes a lot of courage, to dare to be different, to be his authentic self, to allow himself to really move in the way that he saw best. And what a difference it made. And then once he left Yale and kept teaching and writing books and whatnot and sharing his wisdom, what a beautiful thing. And I had the honor of walking around his house and seeing all of his artwork. He is quite a phenomenal artist. He is working currently on a book with the woman that was there sitting with us, Teresa Waldron. And, she just wants to pass along his message and make sure that it's archived, before his time comes. So I hope you got something out of that. And thank you again so much for listening. I know you could be listening to a million other things, and I appreciate you being here. And you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now on YouTube. So if you love this episode, please share it with anyone you choose to. And, think about, I guess what I would love to leave you with is, the question of what is your art? How do you show up in the world? How do you be your authentic self and let your light shine in your beautiful, unique way? So, with that, shine your light. Have a good week. See you next week. Bye.